And now it's time for RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester.
Hey, everybody. Ken Chester with the usual suspects here in studio for another session of RoadWorthy Drive behind the scenes. Jack at the controls.
Hello.
Sasha holding down mic 2 and being snarky. And, of course, myself. This hour, we're going to go through the parts bin and rumble through some stories that has been collecting dust that I want to talk about. I'm going to have a rant-worthy moment a little later on. And full disclosure, I'm actually talking about fellow car reviewers, so it's kind of near and dear to my heart. But it was something I read earlier this week, and it just kind of set me off, and I want to deal with it. A little later, you may realize this, luxury cars have the highest collision losses. Duh. But we'll talk about that. You may be surprised of the vehicles that don't, and I was shocked. And then finally, we're going to talk about Amazon's driverless car program. People say it's further along than you think, and it's not just about freight anymore. So all that, plus our usual smart alecky remarks in studio right here on RoadWorthy Drive Behind the Scenes, and we're so glad you could be with us. Jack, we're at 11 minutes, aren't we?
We're at 11 minutes. You
all
guys
right.
ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay,
Let's
here we
do
go.
it.
Here we go.
Do you want to go faster? Yeah!
It's time now for RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester, America's premier automotive news and information talk show. Now, here he is, that automotive journalist with the photographic memory, Ken Chester.
Like the man said, I'm Ken Chester, and you are tuned to RoadWorthy Drive, America's premier automotive news and information talk show. I'm so glad you decided to join us. This hour, I share a rant-worthy moment about car reviews, investigate insurance claims of luxury cars, and talk about Amazon's driverless car program. Yeah, it's a thing. All that and some rummaging around for news items from the parts bin. But first, let's say hi to my RoadWorthy Drive crew. First, my friend and executive producer, Jack, faithfully at the controls, and Sasha, our very own social media diva, holding it down on mic 2. Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Hello, Ken.
And how are things?
Good.
No
Things
meetings with the suits this week?
Yes, there was a meeting with the suits.
Again?
Again?
Yes.
And
we'll have, basically, when you start the next segment,
mm-hmm.
you will basically find out what the suits said to me.
Oh, boy. I'm a little concerned about that.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, but I
Did you
usually
talk to the suits about snacks?
No.
No snacks?
I would be happy for, like, a quality chair to sit in.
That's asking too much.
Hey, the suits, could you do that when you have the meeting?
No, I need to find the theme to Frozen and go, let it go!
Not happening.
Now, time for the parts bin. Let's go.
Well, almost. As always, you're invited to join in on this conversation. Bless you. Call or text me on the RoadWorthy Drive line. That's 872-222-9793. Or send me an email. And that's ken@roadworthydrive.com. Either way, it will connect you to the show. We'd love to hear from you. Now, if I was ready and dependent, I'd have
Wait a
all
minute.
this
He
out.
said he wasn't ready?
I know, right? But
What in the world?
That is a first.
Wait a minute. Do we have some problem with the space-time continuum?
I'm thinking that we're in a parallel universe,
Oh,
actually.
exactly.
God. Okay, people.
It's invasion of the pod people.
All right. Since they're being so smart alecky about it, what if I told you math says you're driving wrong?
What?
Math says you're driving wrong.
Are you saying math, M-A-T-H, or M-A-P?
No. Math, M-A-T-H, as
Math.
in the new math, the old math.
As in 4 plus 7 is
11.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
That math. A new study published in Science magazine by the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, they say that you are not keeping the right distance from the car behind you.
Huh?
Yes.
Wait a minute. The last time I checked, I have no control over any of the vehicle on the road with me except the one that I'm driving.
Yeah, doesn't that sound a little counterintuitive?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, according to the IEEE study, they've created a mathematical model that discussed the implications of the problem. The math says if everyone kept an equal distance between cars ahead and behind, all spaced out in orderly fashion, that the traffic would actually move twice as quickly. The good news for you, Jack, is that a number of current vehicles are equipped with what they call adaptive cruise control. In fact, I bet, does your truck have adaptive cruise control?
You know, I honestly don't know.
You need to find that out. It's a new truck,
Yes, it is.
which has the ability to do that. To achieve this mathematical perfection, they say, the study reasons that by adding sensors to the rear and engineering the adaptive cruise control system to achieve their word equidistance on its own, we could resolve the problem. The good news, Nissan and Audi already have basic systems on the road which can do just that.
Okay, but how many vehicles are on the road that don't have this? And number two, their theory does not work because in this state, in this month alone, we've had 2 major wrecks on an interstate caused by bad weather.
And people getting too close.
I won't argue that point.
Imagine a world where your systems could keep you equidistant.
Yes, we call that the self-driving car.
We're heading towards that, but right now, with driver assistance systems being more and more common in more and more cars, you may get there before the self-driving car with adaptive cruise control.
Well, but the thing, like I said before, you have so many vehicles that are on the road right now that don't even have that technology in them.
Yeah, but isn't the basic rule of thumb, like when I was getting my driver's license, it's 2 car lengths?
Well, actually, it was 4 seconds.
Actually, it is 1 car length for every 10 miles an hour you're driving.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
In other words, if you're doing 50 miles an hour,
You need
5
5
car
car
lengths.
lengths.
yeah. Now, the reality, not happening.
Right.
Just saying. Let's go on to something else.
Okay.
How about voice command systems are good for older drivers?
Yes.
That I would believe.
That means you, Jack.
Look, son, you're older than I am.
Don't tell all my secrets, man. A new study by researchers from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety and the Massachusetts Institute for Technology's Age Lab compared 2 current voice systems offered by automakers with 80 drivers aged 20 to 66 years old. That's now. These are systems that are in vehicles now. The study focused on the driver's attention to the road while ongoing through the steps of making a voice-activated phone call. Yeah, I can talk, as she said. The researchers found that, in general, distraction grew with the age of the driver. But the single voice command system, in other words, make a phone call, name, and it dials, eliminated the age-related decreases in attention to the forward road. In fact, the single voice command approach resulted in drivers of all ages keeping their eyes on the road some 85% of the time.
Now, I can vouch for that.
Unlike one of a major luxury automaker that they also compared to,
Okay.
that you had to go through various steps, which meant you had your eyes off the road for a longer period.
Well, with my truck, I am able to say, push the button that says, please say a command, and I will say, call Leanne.
my wife's
it
new,
will call Leanne.
my wife's new little crossover does the same thing. She's tickled pink.
Oh, yeah.
She can talk to it, call me, talk to it, and call anybody.
Okay, now I have a question about that. You said in that study that the older the individual, the more distracted they were. I would have thought younger drivers were more distracted by their
Not
cell
ne-
phones.
Not
nec-
with technology.
Not necessarily because of what he just said with technology, because they use this stuff so much that this is second
second
nature to
nature
them
to them.
now.
Yeah,
Okay.
but as older people, we're getting used to it.
Mm-hmm.
So let me throw this at you.
Okay.
While we're on that subject, your mood influences what you drive.
No.
Yeah.
I will agree with that.
So, actually, let me ask you, Jack.
Okay.
What kind of mood you in?
Well,
do you consider yourself of a positive social mood right now?
yes.
That's a good thing. This survey was the fellow who did the survey was Murray Gunn, head of global research at Elliott Wave International. They study this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The connection between social mood and what we drive, one example of socioeconomic theory. It is believed that our collective mood affects events or trends or even what the automakers build. Now, there's 4 things that he talks about. Speed. When we're feeling good, we want to go fast. So more cars in the marketplace that go very fast. Even, for example, he even mentions a Toyota Camry offering a 300 horsepower 6-cylinder Camry that can get drivers from 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds. And that's 2 seconds faster than the 4-cylinder Camry.
Okay.
Size. Another indicator. When you're in a good mood, you want something bigger. SUVs and, I don't know, pickup trucks.
Yep.
Like maybe quad cab pickup trucks.
Super Cruise, yes.
Yeah, just saying. Kind
Yeah,
of like
I know.
yours.
Yeah.
Even the 2019 Kia Forte, a compact sedan, was 3.2 inches longer, the brand new Forte. So
Okay.
cars grow in size as we are in a better mood. However, debt, unfortunately, if you're in a better mood, you're more willing to go into debt for a longer period. And last year, our total auto loan debt in the United States topped, wait for it, $1.2 trillion. That is with a T, sir.
I know.
And then finally, color. When you're in a good mood, you want bright colors.
No.
That's what they say. That's what the survey says. Along with, and this kind of threw me, black, white, and silver.
Okay.
I'm
If
a little thrown there.
You've seen my pickup.
I have.
That is a brand new color,
Yeah, it's not.
gray.
Yeah.
It's a brand new color gray, but the last pickup I had was black,
Mm-hmm.
which I absolutely adored.
They talked about
But-
this, black or silver.
But the thing is, when I look at that truck,
Mm-hmm.
depending upon how the light hits it, sunlight and street lights and the rest of it,
Mhm.
it changes colors,
Oh, my goodness. Changes color so you get more than one color going on.
pretty much.
Oh, my. Well, when we come back, I'm going to have a rant-worthy moment, and I want you to know I'm due. It's time. And after that, luxury cars have the highest collision losses. Duh. You're listening to RoadWorthy Drive exclusively on the RoadWorthy Drive Radio Network.
Go to roadworthydrive.com to check out Ken's blog, listen to past shows, and the times when you can see the show on Facebook Live.
Happy colors. So when you're in a good mood, what color would you buy?
Maroon.
It figures.
There is the next poll we need to do.
Ah, yes.
So we'll see.
Speaking of which, we still need people to vote for that.
We do. If you haven't been to our Facebook page, you need to go there now and vote. Sasha has put out a poll of whether or not it shows a picture of the 2019 Chevy Silverado, 2019 Dodge Ram. I'm sorry, Ram 1500. Forgive me. I keep calling it a Dodge. It's a Ram. And it's Sasha's contention that Ram ripped off Chevy in its look.
That's
And-
also my contention, too.
And
Yeah.
Jack, I'm not alone here, folks.
Yeah, I still say a Ram is a Ram. Thank you very much.
You are pretty much alone.
No,
According
no,
to that.
no.
I think
my
you're
people,
the
my
only
people who
person.
love Ram, you need to go out there, help a brother out.
No,
Yeah.
I think you're the only person
No,
that has voted
There's other people out
that
there
way.
that believe what
Right
I
now,
believe.
can you go check Facebook?
I think it's 80-20.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's going to change.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think that it's going to pretty
No,
much
no,
be
no. I think
resolutely.
I think people are going to come to their senses and vote with me.
By the way,
Yes.
I'm going to tape her feet to the floor,
Oh my.
and I'm going to put something around her head so that she's right in front of the microphone.
What are you I like to walk when I talk.
I know, but you have to remember you're in the studio and we need to hear you.
Okay, so then we need to have this down so that way I could take it with me and just kind of walk around.
No, because
no.
then you hear the mic moving.
then you get a bunch of other noise you don't really need.
Okay, so you were asking about that poll,
I'm
yeah?
asking about the poll.
Yeah.
Yes. So right now, it's this super slow 80-20.
Come on, people. Where are my Ram
And
people?
most people are saying
Where
that
are
yes,
my Ram people, though?
copied Chevy.
Where are my Ram people? Come on with it.
They are voting to say Ram copied Chevy.
No.
And
no,
how
no,
many people
no.
in this unscientific poll?
Very unscientific.
How many people have
I
voted?
don't think that's important right now.
Not that many. That's the point. So when my Ram people show up, we'll blow y'all out the water.
No.
Sir, you have our jingle?
Hold on, that's what I'm going to get right now. You
Okay.
want the GTO first.
Yes, sir, I do.
But speaking of which, we saw a GTO when we were coming
We
to the
did.
studio. Yeah.
Believe it or not, within a year or two of this, but it's the new body style.
Yeah.
Not the old one.
Not the old one.
Mm-hmm. So let me reset this to be 9 minutes.
By the way, Sasha,
Yes, sir.
for those of you that were not here last week because we didn't tape it because we had some issues last week.
Yeah.
Um,
We didn't tell the suits, by the way.
no. Did you get a chance to research any more about cannabis?
I did not.
You really want to bring
I
that
did
up?
not.
For those of you, if you haven't tuned in, Canvas is the new plan from the Ford Motor Company that lets you pay a set fee and basically be able to have it all, insurance and maintenance and all that, much like BMW, Mercedes, Volvo, and some others are
But
launching
it's
subscription
not
service.
like that. They are the first ones that they actually make it economically feasible for the average person to take a vehicle from they're only available in 2 cities right now. In the one
San
city,
Francisco and West LA.
in one city, they are allowing the F-150 pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's
Probably
for,
not San Francisco.
but it is for seriously feasible money. And what's better about it is that the longer you keep that vehicle, the lower your payment goes down.
Mm-hmm.
So you could start out, and I mean, these are not brand new vehicles, folks. These are 2013s. Okay?
15s.
15. Sorry.
So,
Yeah.
so basically, what we're talking about is something that is probably certified used.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It probably just got off of. I'm thinking more that this has to do with the things that just got off of
Lease.
leases. Yeah.
Which usually go into certified new,
Right.
certified used, cream
Right.
of the crop. So,
So yeah, and it's amazing. I cannot wait to get in touch with some people and actually talk to some people.
in other words, the word you need to know from the Ford Motor Company. And it was very
Canvas.
quiet. It's not getting a lot of press, but you
No.
know, you tune in here, we got the scoop for you. Canvas, check it out. It's gonna, as they are looking to expand this nationwide, Sasha might get her wish, and she might actually become a Ford girl. Watch this space. We'll let you know.
I just
Yeah.
that
Canvas.
hurts.
Okay.
Well, but again, like I said, for you,
Yeah.
I can see how this would work very well for
Yeah.
you.
Oh yes. I mean, for me, and I
you're
priced
driving,
it.
and you're driving something that is
Tired.
now 3 years old. It is something that is certified.
He's saying if I signed up for the.
Oh.
If you signed up for Canvas,
Yeah.
you're now driving something that is certified, that has the warranty, that has the insurance, all in one payment. Your service is included.
Yep.
And therefore, all you got to do is drive. And
put
quite-
gas in it.
And
But
quite
the-
honestly, folks, if she gets tired of a vehicle, all she's got to do is say, give them 7 days notice. They'll come and get it and probably bring her another vehicle.
Yeah,
But
you
what
could-
they didn't say is how long you have to have the first vehicle, because there's usually some minimum requirement.
45 days.
And then you can start changing.
And then you can start
Okay.
changing.
Well, then-
However, you have to understand something. Your payment only goes down if you're driving the same vehicle.
Right.
And the
So
longer
the-
you drive the same vehicle, the lower the payment gets.
Right.
Mhm.
So if you're like in, let's just say like an F-150, and
Okay.
you decide that you want to have an SUV for like the weekend, the minute that you switch back to your F-150, you're at the higher rate.
Yep.
And that's assuming you could go back to the F-150.
You can go back. I mean,
Oh.
you can work just like a rental car, like if you're working for Enterprise. The difference is that the pricing makes it 135% feasible to your average working person.
Well,
And they're cheaper than a car payment.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to get in your business, Jack, but you saw the prices that we were talking about last week
Well,
on the show.
and do you know how far you were off from my current car payment?
I'm going to say $100.
No,
50.
15.
15.
Whoa.
15.
$15.
And you're not buried in debt with this. You're not. It also helps your credit score.
Because you can give the thing up anytime you want to.
Yeah.
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 You
And
give
I
them
can
7
see-
you give them 7 days notice. It's parked over here. Come get the keys.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the part last week that shocked
Uh-huh.
me.
Yep.
Was the fact that when I look at that, and you're right, because we haven't added insurance yet
Mm-hmm.
to the truck.
Yep.
We haven't added the maintenance to the truck yet.
Yep.
You know, like
And
I
not
s-
to mention the fact, like you just pointed out in our first segment, we just had some horrific car accidents due to weather.
oh yeah,
You just got a brand new sparkling shiny pickup truck. If you decide to swerve and hit that center median with that pickup truck instead of somebody else hitting you, and now your pretty pickup truck is totaled, who's out that truck?
Wait a minute. DOT says don't veer for deer. Just saying.
Yeah.
One thing, and we'll continue. Insurance companies, if the automaker is now going to be responsible for providing the insurance in the vehicle you drive, then what does that do for the insurance industry and the insurance model of individuals going to their agent, securing their insurance? Again, watch this space, because that's going to be a
They're
question.
already making that pivot, though, because like the most annoying commercials that are out now, have you seen them where the kid looks like a baby and they're like, act your age, get on your own insurance?
Yeah.
Because families are grouping together on one policy because it's cheaper.
But that's always been. The question is, if you've got an automaker providing the insurance instead of the individual, what does that do for the industry? What does that do for pricing? And what does that do to the individual agent? Does that make that completely moot? Because you go company to company. Ford Motor Company, now insurance is just another vendor.
Yeah.
Well,
and you buy it in bulk. So, again, personal liability, personal responsibility sort of gets factored out if you're buying at that level, that if you're paying a premium that high.
But don't you have the same thing with the rental car companies? Because I can go in and I can say to
Purchase
them,
their
okay,
insurance.
I can buy their insurance.
And it's incredibly high, but it's individual.
Well, but and the thing was, I keep asking them, okay, if I get in an accident with this thing, my fault, is that enough insurance to pay for the car and walk away, and the other guy's taken care of? Well, yeah.
Yeah. But it's also extremely high, and it's also extremely short term.
Yeah,
Yep.
You're looking at a couple of days to a week.
Yep.
And, and in many cases, depending on your insurance policy on your vehicle, your actual vehicle insurance may cover that rent-a-car.
That's true. Now, the other question that I have is, if let's take Ford Motor Company, if they're going to go ahead and do this,
Oh, they're doing it.
are we still, do we still have that personal responsibility with that with that insurance company, or
No.
are they just going to take the risk and say, okay, we've got a group of people here, and yeah, there's going to be some bad apples, and
Yeah, but it's statistical. It's like healthcare. It's statistics now. They know statistically so many accidents out of so many 100 or 1,000 drivers. That's all statistical.
okay,
Yep.
And they will price it accordingly. What happens is if you're buying group insurance like that, the cost per vehicle for the Ford Motor Company would be way less than you going to your insurance agent
And-
buying it on your own.
correct.
Well,
so
and
it actually drives the cost of it down, which comes full circle now. What happens to the individual agent that you used to deal with locally?
I think we're going to see a slow dwindle of them being around. Like where I live right now, there's like 8 individual, insurance agents. But as car subscriptions and mobility actually hit my neck of the woods and actually hit these areas, I think we're going to see a definite shrinkage of actual individual agents.
You've got the company agent, and you have out here what we call the independent agent
Right.
that represents different companies. What I think you will find is the independent agent will probably pivot to more specialized insurance, but the company agent's the one in danger.
And I would agree. And the last question, and we'll get going here, is, and I have to assume that this is going to be on a lease, and this is going to vary from state to state. But when it comes time to put plates on that vehicle, are the plates going to be Iowa plates, as an example, in the state that we're in?
More than likely, because you have to. Well, that depends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
because,
does.
because
And
or
that- and
or
not-
or is it going to be, if
But
the
you know
car
what?
came from California, is it going to have California plates
Oh
on
my
it? You
gosh,
gotta
and
leave
that
them on.
brings up an excellent point, because what happens to the revenue then?
Bingo.
What happens to the revenue?
It goes to the state where the vehicle is licensed. And remember, you don't own the vehicle,
Right, but I'm leasing it.
And-
but you don't own it.
And here's the other question. Depending upon the state, and I will say this,
Mhm.
in Iowa, we pay 1%
Mhm.
of whatever the vehicle retailed for.
Right,
Okay?
right.
My brother lives in Overland Park, Kansas.
Okay.
He has to pay personal property tax, which for him to get his car licensed is about $3,000 a year.
Holy.
Now, if the car comes from California, and I believe that California is also a state where you have personal property tax, and again, if everything's included by Ford, then it's not your problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not
But-
a problem.
And that makes it moot right there.
Well,
it's not
but
your problem.
does it make it moot before the states go, no?
Oh, but you know what?
They've been having that fight with online internet stores
Yep,
for 20 years.
yep.
The issue is it's going to have to start impacting them. And
Before
to be
they're going to
honest,
do anything.
and to be honest, you're probably 5 to 10 years out before you start seeing this swing in a number where they start seeing a revenue drop.
Yep.
You'll see the insurance agents contract, company insurance agents contract long before the states, because everybody's formula is different, and they may choose a different formula. We'll have to see.
Yeah, but
we
states
don't have
like
the
Iowa,
answer.
where we're already operating on a very, very extreme, almost toxic level lean budget.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation
Yes,
for a
it
whole nother
is.
time. 9 minutes, sir?
9 minutes or number.
Okay.
And that's why you
Got the
turn into the
commercials?
behind the scenes there, folks.
And you got the commercials queued up?
I've got commercials queued up.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
This is the great one, the ultimate driving machine. And if you don't know what that means, you're excused. But if, when you see this car, you're seized with an uncontrollable urge to plant yourself behind the wheel and head for the wide open spaces, then we're talking to you. The great one is an idea on wheels. The idea that there's more to driving than just moving from place to place in isolated indifference. The great one is 400 cubic inches of glistening engine. The great one is a superb road handling chassis. The great one is bucket seats, carpeting, and a walnut-styled instrument panel. The great one is Pontiac GTO for 1967. Isn't it time you decided to ride the wide track winning streak? The great one is here.
If you're just joining us, this is RoadWorthy Drive, and I'm Ken Chester. Before I start this particular rant, full disclosure, I've been writing car reviews myself for print and online media for the better part of 30 years. And perhaps it may be due to which that is the underlying reason for the following rant. Well, at least you can't say I didn't warn you.
Now, I told you earlier
Uh-huh.
that I had a message from the suits.
Uh-huh.
Here it goes.
Uh-huh.
The following rant is Ken Chester's and Ken Chester's alone. Views expressed do not reflect the editorial comment of me, Sasha, the suits, or your radio station. Now go.
Wow. Is that harsh? Wow. Okay. Remind me to have a word with the suits. I had gotten back from Chicago Auto Show, and I was reading an online review of a gentleman who was talking about a particular car, a particular family-sized car.
Okay.
And he lamented the fact that, people must not care about this car that they buy because it's boring and doesn't go all that fast, and oh my goodness. And I
Can you tell us which car it is?
hold that thought.
All right.
I'm going to come full circle.
All right.
Now, the reason why I got all kinds of crazy is because, it's nice as an automotive journalist. I have access to a lot of vehicles in the course of a year. I drive a lot of things, from the least expensive to a lot that are over $100,000 and everything in between. I drive cars, trucks, minivans, God forbid, crossovers, all sorts of things. Here's a news flash. Most of us hardworking Americans that need to get from point A to point B don't always want a Lamborghini to drive to work.
No, that's true.
What we want, I want it to be reliable. I want it to look decent in my driveway. I want it to start when I need it to start, go when it needs to go, get decent fuel economy, and get me home. Day after day, week after week, year after year. I want it to be able to have my entertainment systems, whether I have an iPod or a phone or a USB drive, whatever.
Or XM satellite radio.
Or XM or Sirius satellite radio,
Yep.
either one. And that's pretty much all I want. But I want the thing to be reliable. Do I need the thing to burn rubber from a stoplight? No. Do I need to be able to beat anything else on the road? No.
The only thing that I need a vehicle to be is everything you said about one other thing. If for somehow I get in a jam, my fault or not, I want to be able to step in the gas and know she's going to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. Drove back from Chicago
Right.
in a brand new Toyota Camry hybrid.
Okay.
Nice, quiet, solid, comfortable car.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to win any road races. But you know what? Car got me home 359 miles, no problem,
Mm-hmm.
which is what I expected. And I would expect that car to do that for years at a very low cost. The writer did acknowledge that Toyota did sell 370,000 Camrys last year.
That's a lot of vehicle.
That's a lot of Camrys. May I add, all built in the United States? Thank you very much.
Yep.
Georgetown, Kentucky. The vehicle I'm driving now, which
Mhm.
only added to my rant. Again, it's the smallest thing that this automaker makes. It's an entry-level car. I found it extremely well equipped, peppy, comfortable, solid, relatively quiet, and embarrassingly well equipped. It is a 4-cylinder, 6-speed automatic, power steering, power brakes, air conditioning, rear window defroster, power doors, power door locks, rear view camera.
Mm-hmm.
I had my USB port, decent interior lighting, comfortable seats, and like I said, it looked good. What do you think it would cost?
If knowing that vehicle, I'm probably going to say middle 20s.
No.
How much?
This one, sticker price.
Okay.
$17,000.
Wow.
Did I mention sticker price?
And you know, back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
my first car that I bought brand new
Mm-hmm.
was $10,000.
Yeah.
My first car brand new was $62,533.
Yep.
It was a 1980 Plymouth Horizon TC3 2-door, 4-speed on the floor, AM/FM radio, rear window defroster, power steering, no air.
Yep.
Bought it in Massachusetts. Compared to the car I'm driving now, this thing's a luxury sedan.
Yes, and not only that too, but now at $17,000, that's a little bit. And I don't know this for a fact; it's just an opinion. That $17,000 for a car is a really good place to go put your teenager in.
And guess what? You can buy that car for less. If you're willing to shift some gears,
Yep.
$14,995.
Wow.
If you want a manual.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's the only difference between this. This is the entry-level trim. There are 2 trim levels higher than this.
That would probably see you in your mid-20s. Like if you
No,
wanted to
you
move
wouldn't even
over-
be that high, no.
You don't think that if
Low
they,
20s.
Wow.
Well, but even
Low
low
20s.
even low 20s is
That's
still
still
pretty
good.
doggone
You,
good.
Yeah.
You'd be maxed out probably about 23.4 if
And
you
it's
put
not an
everything in.
automaker that you would be scared to put your child in.
Yeah, and this thing, did I mention analog brakes?
Yep.
Did I mention traction control, stability control, all your airbags, including your side airbags, your curtain airbags, all of that in this car. And I'll tell you what it is, I would be proud to drive this thing myself and put it in my driveway. It's a brand new 2018 Hyundai Accent SE 4-door sedan. It looks good, it rides good, and it's indicative of all of this luxury that's coming down, stuff that we would have had to buy a compact car, a mid-size car, a full-size car.
Or a subcompact car.
Well, you would even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you wouldn't have seen this kind of luxury in a car that small. This
Nope.
is a subcompact.
Yep.
And you would not find what's in this car at the base trim level.
And I know you classify this as a subcompact, but honestly, I mean, I would have no problem fitting all of my children in there.
Yeah, and I mean it runs real well. Computers galore.
And Hyundai is a solid car.
Yes,
Not
it is.
to mention the killer warranty.
Yes, and that warranty is something
For that
else, let me
alone,
tell you.
if-
Yeah,
I would buy it
killer
for my
warranty people. So I said all that to say, it's not about the speed. It's about everything else. And I guess that's why I was ranting. When I return, luxury cars top the list of models with high collision losses. And you're tuned. This is Roadworthy Drive.
RoadWorthyDrive.com is the place to keep up with the latest happenings with Ken and the show.
sure that I get the right trim level because I'm going to post it on the Facebook
Mhm.
next week.
Yeah.
People have a right to know. I mean, graduation's
Your
coming up.
your
but
microphone.
I need to also say that this is indicative of other automakers. You know, it just so happens the car I'm driving this week.
Right.
But you could, your low price Ford, your low price Chevy, same thing. A
Okay.
lot of equipment.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Where does the Malibu fit in all of this?
2 sizes higher.
Okay, it's 2 sizes higher than the Hyundai.
Than the Accent.
Then I'm sorry.
Because what you've got is you've got the Sonic, then you go to the Cruise,
Right.
then you go to Malibu, then you go to Impala.
Now, where is the Malibu price-wise?
Malibu is going to start really, depending on how sharp your pencil is, you're going to be in the low 20s, but where you're going to really be is right around 30. We
Okay.
just priced them. Awesome car. Loaded to the gills, oh my God, with all kinds of stuff. you
Yeah,
ain't
but I
even
wouldn't
imagine.
pay that kind of extra for a Malibu because honestly, for me personally, as someone that I'm buying the vehicle not based on how I feel, not based on what the society is like, not because it's my perfect color, but because it has a moonroof and because it's affordable.
She did that absolutely too well as a Valley girl.
She did.
She really
She
did.
really did. I
But
agree.
My point is that
Your country card is up for review just because of that.
I can still ride a horse bareback.
I got nothing.
Okay.
Anyway.
Now, my point is that when you're looking for vehicles and you actually have to pay attention to your budget,
Mhm.
okay?
Mhm.
This car, it offers a phenomenal warranty. It's got the history and reliability behind it.
Yep.
And it's priced at a point that I'm not going to have to take out a third, fifth mortgage on my house for my child to have a safe way to come back home for the holidays when they go off to college. Or if I wanted to be that kind of parent to give my child something brand new even though they didn't earn it, then
That wouldn't happen in my world.
it would not happen. It's not happening in my
Yeah.
world either.
My
but
turn for the full disclosure. Sasha is not in any way representing Hyundai, its dealership, or its organization, nor is the show or anybody on the staff receiving any in-kind funds
Compensation.
or gifts or anything from Hyundai. This
No.
is her total independent opinion, which I happen to agree with. But just so you know.
But I mean, seriously, I've got 2 children that they're 11 months apart. So here in about 3 years, I'm going to have a very expensive 4-year period.
Oh, no, they're
Because-
getting one car to share. You didn't know that?
No, that's cute that you think I'm even going to buy them that first car. Now, when my children graduate college, absolutely, I will buy them a car because they deserve that. I didn't have that when I graduated. They deserve that. Now, if I was in a position where I was going to buy my child a brand new car, this would be because now you're talking, do I spend 10 grand on a used vehicle buying somebody else's problems, or do I spend 15, 17 on a brand new vehicle that's going to be warranted for their entire high school and then probably pass it down?
Well, yeah.
Here's my problem. Statistically, teenagers get in the most wrecks.
I
Them
know
and
that's
old
right.
people. Ain't no way, speaking for myself, having been through this,
What?
yes, having been through this with one daughter, love you, Monica,
I love how he busts her out.
who wrecked a number of my cars.
As in plural?
Plural.
As in, oh, you are a wonderful father.
I am, though.
Because, no, they get one.
But no. The average parent, at least out here, you're going to buy them a knockaround car so they can get that out their system.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. No.
Well, and
it ain't happening.
And the other thing, too, and I know people that I went to high school with
Mhm.
who now their kids are in their 20s and getting married. God, that's hard to believe.
Wow.
Who said to them, probably at, I'm going to say as early as 8, but probably average at 10 years old, said, I will help you buy your first car.
Mhm.
You need to decide how much money you want to spend.
Yep.
You will save that money. I will help. I will give you enough money.
Yep.
First off, to start out, that we can put money in the savings account before and the bank doesn't take it.
Yeah.
Or it was the minimum.
Right.
Then you're going to put money in there, and I will match you. One of them was dollar for dollar.
Mhm.
One of them was I'll give you 50%. I'll do a 50% match or whatever's in there. I'll give you 50%.
Yep.
You make that decision. But when we go buy that first car, it's your money
On
that's
the line.
that's going to buy it. We're not going to buy it on credit. You're going to pay for it.
Yep.
Which means you've got to figure out what research do I need to do. Do we need to take a day and just go to a dealer and have you start asking questions? And you better figure out what questions you need to ask.
Well, that's where
But again, the parent was going with them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
I mean,
they got
I'm-
some.
I'm
But anyway,
all-
the reason why I bring
Yeah.
this up is that this is how they got them through their first car.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but and maybe this would be a good idea for a conversation with spring coming. We can do a show on that and have those conversations.
I think it's a great
I
idea.
think it's a great idea. We are a third segment.
Third segment, sir.
9 minutes.
9 minutes.
But I still say for what they're offering for that kind of money, it's still the smarter buy.
Canvas, we got you.
What?
No.
Well,
I'm being snarky. Yes.
Canvas, by the way,
Yeah,
if you
no,
guys
we
haven't
are-
talked about
Yeah,
or
we're
heard about
done.
the new Ford,
Yeah, we're done. 9 minutes.
9 minutes. There we go.
Welcome to RoadWorthy Drive. I'm Ken Chester. We're on the downhill side of this hour, and we're glad you dropped by. For those of you who want or need more than your fair share of the road, check out the show website, and that's roadworthydrive.com. We've recently overhauled the site just for you. It's easy to navigate, easy to find the things you want, from audio clips of past shows, video clips of our behind-the-scenes antics in studio, and more. And trust me on the antics, by the way.
heavy on the antics.
Heavy. The website is also the perfect place to discover Roadworthy Drive in the universe of social media. Sasha posts automotive topics and technologies that you will find interesting and entertaining. See how she puts the social in our social media. Regular listeners know that I often refer to information and studies that have been produced by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, better known as by its initials as the IIHS. Their research and advocacy for automotive safety continue to bear fruit even some 50 years after their original founding. And again, for this segment, I turn to a recent IIHS report that should raise concerns, and I'm going to ask this question, and I'm going to even ask it of Sasha and Jack. Do you have enough insurance to reflect the higher cost of vehicles currently on the road?
I would think that I do because I had to obtain full coverage.
Okay, but here's the challenge. You may have coverage on your vehicle,
Yep.
but do you have the collision coverage in a high enough amount that if you should hit a $60,000 Mercedes, an $80,000 Bentley, oh my God, a $90,000 Lincoln Navigator,
Or a Tesla.
or a Tesla Model S, P100D with ludicrous mode,
No.
Ludicrous speed.
do you have the coverage?
You know, I don't know.
And here's why I ask. In this state, the coverage minimums are minimum. And you can buy the insurance, so legally you have insurance, but you don't have enough insurance. And in fact, my agent personally says they won't write them at that level.
Well, and they're
They
smart for not,
refuse to write them at
and
that
they're
level.
smart for doing that.
For that exact reason. And any competent insurance agent would do that. Now, I could get online for my state minimums to be legally in compliance. But here's something most people may not realize. Do you know that if your insurance policy is insufficient and you're at fault in a collision, that they can come after you for the difference?
Yep.
Even with insurance.
Yep.
Yeah. Saying you've got $30,000 worth of collision insurance and the damage you caused in an accident is $60,000 doesn't mean you're not liable for that other 30. You are, even though you have insurance. And that's kind of what started me on this segment, because I believe that you can be legal and still insufficient.
Yep. And especially when you're talking about a $90,000 to $100,000 Lincoln Navigator, or even the high expensive
Cadillac Escalade,
or the expensive pickup truck.
yeah, Ford F-150 Platinum Edition.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Platinum's only about 60, 70, but that's still a lot
Hey,
of
by
money.
the time you get it fully equipped, you can be out at 85.
Okay.
Go ahead,
and
Sasha.
didn't we do a show on being underinsured?
We talked about that. We talked about gap insurance.
Yeah.
In fact.
And you know what? I think one of the things we need to do, I think we need to find a insurance agent to talk to.
I think I know one.
I know one too.
You being a car guy,
Yeah.
you know some
imagine that.
insurance.
I do. Stop it,
He's
you.
got somebody.
I
He's got a guy.
I got a guy.
Exactly.
I got a guy. Here's something that'll blow your mind. The IIHS did a study for vehicles 2014 to 2016 model passenger vehicles. Which vehicle do you think, and it surprised me, had the lowest overall collision losses of any car on the road? And I'm talking car.
Oh boy, I would have no idea.
In the words of my producer, wait for it, the Smart for 2 electric.
What?
The lowest overall collision losses.
The little smart car.
Yeah.
That itty bitty thing that
Yeah.
if you hit a squirrel, you're totaled. You're a quadriplegic.
Well,
never
apparently-
ever
Well,
walk again.
or if a semi hits you, you're flat as a pancake.
Brother, if a semi
You're a
hits
Rubik
your
Cube.
truck, it's 50-50.
Well, yeah, but again, my odds are 50-50.
Yeah, but those aren't particularly great odds. Vehicle with the highest collision losses. BMW i8 plug-in, and obviously a trio of Bentley Continentals. Gee, what a shock.
Wow.
Now, let's talk about they sorted loss results by vehicle size and type, and they showed by a different type, there's one other type that has lower than average costs for collision. And Sasha, in a messed up way, you could probably attest to this. Pickups and SUVs. She's laughing because she kind of had a snow incident with a pickup.
I did.
Did
yes.
more damage to her vehicle than the pickup.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, tap the bumper of the pickup. It's a little bit ruffled. She's got a whole fender and light assembly that's messed up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go here.
Steel meets plastic. Steel
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, well, that happens. The 4.2 Electric's overall collision losses are 58% lower than other passenger vehicles.
Wow.
Sasha, this is going to blow your mind. What's the next best vehicle in overall minimal collision losses?
Swear, if you say
I'm going to.
uh,
The Ram 1500 long wheelbase 4-wheel drive. 53% lower. Followed closely by a very large pickup, the Ford F-250 4-wheel drive. And get this, in number 4, the Kia Soul,
what?
an electric small station wagon.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, now, let's talk about personal injury while we're on this subject.
Yeah,
really,
because
really
Ram
quick.
didn't do too well when they were doing their
In personal injury protection,
okay.
lowest claim frequency, Porsche 911, Chevrolet Corvette, Porsche Boxster, Mercedes-Benz E-Class station wagon, Mercedes-Benz SL-Class convertible, Porsche Cayman, a Land Rover, 2 more Corvettes, and Tesla Model S.
Nice.
Lowest claim frequency. And you would think of personal injury, these would be the highest.
Mm-hmm.
They're the lowest.
Wow.
Now, check this out. Highest claim frequency of personal injury, Mitsubishi Lancer.
Yep.
Yeah, here's a couple that blew my mind. The Chrysler 200
Yep.
and the Dodge Charger 2-wheel drive, the 4-door Charger.
Yeah.
That blew me away. Now, it didn't say if it was the one equipped with the crazy engine, so we don't know that. But surprising studies on insurance, which basically means you need to beware and do the research. Find out how the vehicle you're looking at fares in an accident. It's going to affect your insurance prices. That's for absolute sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, When we return, and we are coming back, a look at Amazon's driverless car program. It's further along than you think. You're riding shotgun with Ken and Roadworthy Drive.
You're listening to Roadworthy Drive with Ken Chester on the Roadworthy Drive Radio Network.
The thing that blew my mind, the Ford, and as my Ford F-150 is not on this list. Neither is
At all?
No.
So what does that mean?
It means it's not the best, but it's not the worst.
Okay.
But the fact that the 250 is, the fact that the particular Ram, they were very specific. The 1500 long wheelbase, 4-wheel drive. Don't know why that particular one. Now, what they don't say here, and we don't know, if this is influenced by volume of vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was going to say about that
Because they're
Chrysler
talking,
200.
but they're talking claim frequency per 100 per 1,000. So that kind of mitigates that. If you have 5,000 and you have 500 accidents, then you've got
That's
a 10% frequency.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, eh.
Because I remember
But the
they were
highest
tossing
overall
up-
losses, not surprised. But the funny thing is, no Lamborghinis, no Rolls Royces, Bentley, BMW, Maserati, one Audi, 2 Maseratis, 3 Bentleys, 3 BMWs. I'm sorry, one Audi
Are on the list?
of highest overall losses.
Yeah.
Not a Mercedes Benz, not a Porsche, not a Lamborghini on the list.
And you would think that those would already be on the list because of their price tag.
No, not so much the price tag, claim frequency.
Oh, okay.
That you would figure that a fast vehicle would tend to lead to more accidents. And because of its price, more accidents would translate into higher overall losses. Well,
Yeah,
they're
but-
looking at claim frequency per so many vehicles.
I think that when you're talking about those particular models that you're listing off, you're also talking about a completely different buyer. Yes, those are fast cars, but by the same token, for the most part, and I'm not saying they're not idiotic Lamborghini owners, but what I'm saying is that for the most part, these are people that, yes, they like their fast cars, but they're also responsible with their fast cars.
Well,
Yeah,
and
because the Bentley Continental GT two-door 4-wheel drive is a performance luxury car, but not in the same way that a Porsche 911 is.
Yeah.
And the average loss, claim severity, $35,700.
Which most people have only got 30. What is it?
About 30
30,000?
grand.
Yeah.
If
Well-
you bought from an online folk to get the minimum insurance, at least in this state,
As in,
you're underinsured.
as in with that lady named Flo.
Not so much. There are other ones that say, you
Well,
can get insurance for as little as $20 a month.
I know one that I can think of that would probably fit this category, and I'm not going to name it, but I
No.
will look at you and go,
Oh yeah, I've seen those well on YouTube because I don't. watch
well, but they're on TV all the time and saying that they will issue you
Yeah.
insurance immediately.
And for as little as $20.
Yep.
If you're paying $20, you buying the minimum.
Mhm.
And in most cases, the minimum in many states is insufficient in today's dollars for a real life accident.
Here's the other question that I've got.
Okay.
Because I knew that the maximums that we could buy when I started out was 5,150.
Oh, it's been way up since that.
They've been way up since that.
Yeah, since when I come to Iowa, I carried more insurance than that.
Well, which means I need to start looking.
Considerably more than that. And the messed up part, it was 5 times more insurance than I was carrying in Massachusetts, and it cost 1/10 as much.
Yep.
That's what happens when you have a state with no fault. And no fault, they pay regardless, and your monthly insurance payment will rival your car payment. And in most cases, is more than your car payment.
Oof.
Yeah. Which is why a lot of folks in Massachusetts would get a post office box in New Hampshire and a street and some sort of home address in New Hampshire, even though they lived in Massachusetts, because the rates were so high.
Wow.
And no fault's been around since 1971.
Yeah, my grandfather got hit in a no-fault state. Guy made sure that everybody was okay and then took off. They were on their way on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And the cop showed up, and Grandpa was like, I got his license plate number. He just took off. And he's like, yeah, this is a no-fault state. He just made sure you were right. And that's what they're able to do. And Grandpa's like, I'll never go through this state again.
Well, this is why you have the insurance company. They've got the lawyers to go after him.
Yeah,
No, I mean, it's a no-fault state.
No
They don't.
fault, they pay. Period. There's none of this hocus pocus like we go through here.
Oh, okay.
As long as the driver had insurance, his insurance company pays. Period.
Okay, I see what you're saying. But you're also paying more for that premium, too.
Considerably more.
Okay.
8
Are we
minutes,
ready?
50 seconds, fourth segment.
Yep.
Okay, it's party time.
All right, here we go.
Okay. This is the final installment for this hour of RoadWorthy Drive. Welcome. I'm Ken Chester. Amazon. Increasingly, it's come to be known as much more than the mere online bookseller it was when it started 20 years ago. The company has reached into many different parts of the economy, often ending up upending the status quo along the way. It seems like so many other companies in this space, they are or have turned their attention to the autonomous or self-driving car. And I'm not surprised at this turn. I've mentioned before, pretty much anybody, software, hardware, traditional automaker, parts manufacturer, or even a garage startup has jumped into this rapidly evolving whirlpool. It's every bit as important as the original invention of the car itself, at least in my opinion. Imagine for a moment what might happen if Amazon got serious.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay. Well, let me give you this little tidbit. Let's go back to 2014 when Amazon had decided to actually put together a group to look at driverless vehicles. I'm letting that settle because that should really freak out some people. And I misspoke. It wasn't 2014. It was 2016.
Okay, so we're talking 2 years ago.
Right.
Formed a team of a dozen employees to focus on driverless vehicle technology and to develop the company's plan to use self-driving cars to better its business.
Now, does that also include their drone program, or is that completely different?
That's completely different.
So
Okay.
they put together some 12 just to find out how they can incorporate self-driving cars with delivering their product lines.
Yeah, because once you get past the asset of the vehicle,
Yeah.
what's the second highest cost?
Employees.
Labor.
Yeah.
If you can eliminate the labor, you can reduce the cost. If you can reduce the cost, you can become even more competitive.
Yep.
And use that as a competitive edge. But right now, the industry watchers are suggesting that Amazon's intentions are not noble.
What?
I know, right?
Okay, so if I'm guessing, these people are looking at the fact that Amazon is probably going to be able to eliminate jobs.
No.
Okay, go.
Where they're going is, imagine for a moment, with all the money Amazon has paid for planes and trucks,
Mm-hmm.
they want to supplant, replace, do away with UPS and FedEx to deliver their own stuff on their own terms and encompass that world.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Okay.
bear in mind, UPS just announced spending $6.1 billion in capital upgrades for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think for one moment that FedEx and UPS is sitting by the wayside going, oh, gee, we don't know. They're not going to take this lying down.
No, they're not going to take it lying down. And let's face one thing, where we live,
Mm-hmm.
at our airport, both of those companies have sunk millions and millions of dollars in to facilities at our airport.
Actually, UPS pulled out and went to Rockford.
What?
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm way behind things.
I am. But think about this. Amazon could use autonomous cars, trucks, forklifts, drones to move goods around warehouses and elsewhere because they want to figure out how they can use that technology to deliver packages more quickly. Consider this. Right now, if you are an over-the-road 18-wheel trucker, you are subject to federal laws that tell you in a 24-hour period how many hours you can drive.
You can drive 10 hours, and you also have to take breaks in that 10 hours, and then you have to be off for, I think it's another 10.
Imagine an autonomous truck that didn't have the same requirements, constantly moving, owned by Amazon from warehouse to warehouse.
But Amazon also has that Amazon Prime where you get the free 2-day shipping, right?
Imagine.
Right now.
But right now.
And they're
it's
also tinkering in some states, in some cities right now,
same day.
in hours, not even same day.
So, I mean, my point is that how many times how much is it costing them when they have to hire these third party to, deliver their goods, and be it weather, be it, somebody messed up, be it driver, whatever, and it's delayed, and that person doesn't get it there by their 2-day time. And then Amazon has to reimburse. If they cut out that third party altogether,
then they have complete control.
they have complete control
And
over
if you
that.
get complete control, you can wring out cost.
Yeah.
According to this report, Amazon is particularly interested in autonomous trucking.
Yep.
But like we've said in this show many times over the last few years, you can't look at technology in a vacuum anymore.
No.
Nope.
What Amazon learns from their studying the industry and their autonomous drones that they've tinkered with, and remember, I believe it was UPS that also did a test down at Tampa
Yep.
with the same. Imagine if the Tesla truck and Amazon got together.
And form little baby trucks.
And they could corner the market very quickly.
Very, very, very
Warehouse
quickly.
to warehouse, long haul trucking. Instead of taking 3 days to get to the coast, you can do it in 18 hours because the driver never stops.
That's true.
And imagine if you're looking at 70 miles an hour on interstate and you can get around major cities without having to go through major cities, assuming weather and traffic. Imagine the kind of delivery times you could promise from the port at Long Beach to Chicago.
Well, okay. The semi-trailer. Okay, right now, semi-trucks, there's certain cities that semi-drivers absolutely hate to visit, right? Amazon is building their big warehouses just on the outskirts of these.
Actually, not just Amazon. In my
Everybody.
trips around the country, it's the one thing you're seeing in the last 5 years, these ginormous warehouses. They're getting ready for this.
Right. But I'm saying the semis will go there, and then from there, Amazon would have a smaller, like a FedEx-shaped truck that would
Or
actually take it.
UPS truck
Or
shape. Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, and again, it would be autonomous.
And remember the British company we talked about who could make those trucks to order
Yeah.
cheaply and quickly
Yep.
that could go into town.
Yep.
I think that's what you're going to see. But imagine if Amazon decided to get into this in a big way, they could change so much of this. What we call the last mile delivery. What we're seeing now with autonomous delivery to the house.
Yep.
To warehouse, to companies, they could decide to even expand and go be the delivery company for even other companies that have nothing to do with Amazon.
And I think that's what I was just thinking, places like Hy-Vee, Walmart, and I know Walmart made a bid for the Tesla semi-trucks, but
Well, folks, it seems that that's all the time we have as this hour draws for a close. Be sure to join us next time when we discuss all things electric car. On behalf of me and the RoadWorthy Drive crew, thanks for listening. This has been RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester.
RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester is a copyrighted presentation of the RoadWorthy Drive Radio Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other use is prohibited without the written consent of the Motor News Media Corporation.
Before we call it an hour, As you can see, we get very passionate about a whole variety of things going on. And this is still just the tip of the iceberg of everything that we get to see in the course of the week doing our research for you. So you're going to want to tune in next time. And this is a little heads up. Find out why a mine in Chile might have a lot to do with your next electric car. I'll explain next time. On behalf of Jack, Sasha, and myself, thank you for watching Roadworthy Drive Behind the Scenes, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.